stay tuned, because now I have to tell Greg, and it's not gonna go over good. Oh, I gotta tell you something.
What?
I have to tell you something.
What?
Alex, stop laughing.
You're pregnant.
Good afternoon. We are on a trip. Where's Colton?
Trip.
At a basketball game.
Basketball.
Colton has his last basketball game, high school basketball game, and we are heading down to sunny St. George.
Sunny St. George.
To find the sun and actually for soccer tournaments. So all of the boys are playing a soccer tournaments tomorrow
with the rest of
today.
Utah.
The rest of Utah. How many games do we have tomorrow?
I think like 7.
7. Anyways, but I'm super excited. It's our first soccer games of the season, and why not kick it off with 7 games in one day? So we thought we'd bring you along. Colton will be here later tonight. Don't worry, the jokes will continue with him. Right now we're listening to JJ's book. What's your book? Fablehaven. We have plenty of treats and snacks, and even Alex brought this Kong popcorn.
Why do you have to say Alex?
Who brought it?
Me.
Anyways, so that's it. We're going on a trip. St. George. We'll bring you along. Maybe I have to tell you about the last time I came to St. George. I never shared it with you guys. Maybe I should just tell you. I am 42 years old, and I've never been pulled over in my life. And I'm very proud of that. I'm a great driver. I don't speed. I keep all the... In fact, I remember everything from driver's ed, right? Pretty close. Greg doesn't know. And it was just JJ and me on this trip, and we were 2 hours away from home, and I got pulled over. And I started crying.
She can never say.
Okay, here it goes. I don't believe him. So you get right off the freeway, right when you get off the freeway, he's saying that it was 25, but I thought it was 35. And there's like a little store right off of this exit. So I pull in there, and I'm like, oh, Princess Parking, which is front row parking, right? So I pull in there, and right as I'm getting ready to turn to park, I hear a siren, and I was like, that's close. And then I look in my rearview mirror, and it's right behind me. So I'm like, what in the world? So I like finished parking, and I roll down the window, and the cop is checking out my license plate, and I'm like, is he pulling me over? And I'm like, are you pulling me over? And the cop's like, ma'am, just stay in the car until my partner gets here. And then he's like, yeah, it's gonna be in the Creamery parking lot for backup. And I'm like, all of a sudden I started thinking, okay, last time I had gone on a trip to St. George, Greg was in his bike accident. Did something happen? They tracked me down. Why are you laughing?
Because I lived through that whole entire chaos.
So I'm thinking that, because clearly I was not speeding. Or did I accidentally kill somebody on the way? Like, I'm thinking like worse than speeding.
What are you delivering and packing without telling us?
Anyways, so by the time his partner comes, I actually think he was training his partner, which is like looking back on it now, I think he was training this woman. But I start bawling because I said to Greg, it's the only thing I'm good at. It's my only claim to fame, and now what? What do I have now? And they're like, ma'am, we need your license and registration. You were going this speed and this whatever. And I'm like, me? And he's like, well, if there's houses on the street, even if there's not a speed limit posted, it's 25, which, by the way, I would like to go find that cop, because that's not the truth. I found plenty of roads now with houses on it that are 35. I actually live on one. So anyways, so then they asked my license registration. I'm like, I'm 42, I've never been pulled over. He's like, well, either you're a really good driver or you've just gotten away with a lot of crap. Don't you think that's rude? How dare you insinuate that I'm not a good driver? Anyway, so finally they came back because I was a hot mess, and they're like, well, it's obvious you don't get in a lot of trouble. We're just going to give you a warning, which I didn't want a warning either. I didn't deserve to be pulled over. Anyways, and I cried for 2 hours on the way home. I'm gonna put some of the footage here if I can find it. Poor JJ would look at me and he'd be like, Mom, you gotta stop crying. You're gonna be okay. It just rocked my world. Anyway, so I'm having bad memories on this drive. We're almost to the place where I got pulled over. And
we should stop by and just...
and give the cop a present.
And just remember.
The girl cop is super nice. She's like, "Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to take a few breaths." It wasn't my finest moment.
Holy cow.
I know. Anyways, so just so everybody knows, that was the only thing I had that was perfect. Now I got nothing.
You are perfect. Mary Poppins, practically perfect.
Tell me more. Anyways, that was longer than I thought it would be. So, that's it. Okay, you guys are gonna make fun of me because I'm bawling my eyes out. How old am I, JJ?
42.
42. And I've never been pulled over, and I just got pulled over. Why am I crying? People get pulled over every day. That is my claim to fame that I've never been pulled over. Can't say that anymore, can I?
Hey, but you can still say you're 10 times better than a driver than talking.
Now I had to go home and break the news to Greg. And he's gonna make fun of me.
Hey,
that's all I had, guys.
But at least we can say, hey, he's been pulled over maybe 10 times.
10. He's been pulled over way more than that. Stay tuned, because now I have to tell Greg, and it's not gonna go over good. It's not that he's gonna be mad. He's just gonna be a brat and make fun of me. So I'm gonna pull myself together here. Okay, so before we take off, I had to tell you what JJ just said. So I'm like, I cannot believe that just happened. I'm sure they were like, what is even happening? Because not only was I crying, I snorted, you guys. How embarrassing. Anyways, what'd you just say to me?
You're gonna take it from in front of you and put it behind you.
How come you're so smart? He's like, you just gotta let it go, Mom. You just gotta let it go. It's over. It's not happening anymore. You take it from in front of you and put it behind you. He's right. Seeing Greg and Alex. It's been a good trip. We miss these guys.
I miss her face.
So guess what though?
What?
I gotta tell you something.
What?
I have to tell you something.
What?
Alex, stop laughing.
You're pregnant.
I can't get pregnant.
What?
What do you think?
You wrecked the car.
No. Stop laughing. I've been crying for 2 hours straight. Why would I cry?
The car.
Why would I cry for 2 hours straight?
You got a ticket. You got a ticket.
I got pulled over.
Did you get a ticket?
No.
No, she got a warning.
That's hilarious.
It's not funny, and it's not even fair.
Becky got pulled over.
I just sat and cried.
You did.
I did.
Oh.
So, and I cried the whole way home. Jaden keeps saying, Mom, just put it behind you. You have to learn to put it behind you. It's okay. And I'm like, but that's like the only thing I'm good at.
You've been with Dad how many times when I got pulled over?
80.
80.
Anyways, so.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get in a wreck. And if you would have got a ticket, I would have laughed.
That's why I was a little behind schedule, was because I sat in the parking lot for a while.
I'm like, what is taking them so long?
I told him. He was nice about it.
That's...
What's up, guys? We made it to St. George yesterday. I feel about as good as I look. We had 2 games yesterday, and then I was up till 2 waiting for Colton. Colton had his last basketball game at home, and then came down with another family, and he got in at 2. And then I could not fall asleep, and then Alex was up at 6:40. Alex was leaving us. Alex left at 6:40, so he's up at 6:15. And now it's 7:30. I'm at JJ's game, and we have 7 games today. So this is gonna be about as good as it gets. I'm just sitting in my car using my extra 20 minutes before the game starts, cleaning. You know, I'm just trying to clean out the little cracks. So anyways, that's where we are today. We got here just in time, didn't we? Are you cold? Tired?
My kneecap just hurts.
He got hurt in his game, but he'll be all right. So anyway, so we're at our 7th game of the day. Alex's 3rd game of the day. And right now, the score is 1-0. So we'll see how the game goes. But we've had 3 wins today, 3 losses. This will be the tiebreak. Not last very long. He's asleep under that blanket. Poor guy, we've been going since 6:30. We went to bed at 2 because Colton didn't get in till 2. It's been a long day. So I'm kind of envious that he's sleeping, but I'm glad he's having a chance to sleep. Halftime, it's 1-0. We're winning.